I need to piss. You need to open that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Oh.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
I'm going
by
down.
sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Just had to double check it.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep, I'm going that way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Fuck it, why not? Wait a minute.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
That's a long fucking hallway. Tell you what.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
What is that moving back there? The lights? Fuck it. Yeah, why not? Oh, I'm not dead. You lied to me. You bastard.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
I figured out I couldn't
Stanley
jump
can't
in
see
Minecraft.
the picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
I'm ready to go.
Farewell, Stanley.
Take me away. Why? This is the second time!
Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
You guys are fucking liars.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Okay. This is the 2 doors then, right? The set of 2 doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it and an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. This better not be the fucking end. I didn't even do anything. I didn't get to 01, 02, or 03. Did I really fucking do this already? No fucking way. I didn't do that. There's no way I'm done. Hey, I know this game. I'm not gonna read this one, so yeah. It's a good thing they got it labeled. I wouldn't have known that was the alien base. No, I gotta go through it quick now. I gotta see if this is this really the fucking ending? There's no way this is the ending. I've been playing this for fucking 30 minutes. No way. I didn't get to that. Didn't get to that. What's this? Oh, that's just a light. Okay.
They're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
What the fuck? Did I seriously get to the ending already? Okay, so I went this way and I ended up this way. There's gotta be like something I gotta do. I went in there, I looked in there. What was this? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use of them. Here are a selection of those emails. From Anthony W. I'm not done. Pixel, Sith, dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely. Will the game feature cabinet? I don't know how to skip this one. Skip it. Fuck it. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Oh, this is new. Maintenance layout, okay. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color lever they pulled. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator, informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of Stanley Parable. Alright. I didn't... Wait a minute. I didn't even... What the fuck? No way!
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they
Pull the lever, Crunk.
both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save
Oh my
these
God!
two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you
Nah, I don't really feel like it.
move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
I was actually hoping for it to stop again, to be honest. Didn't do that. Guess we'll have a 21 gun salute in Stanley as our honor. He was a good man. Mm-hmm. We're gonna follow your
All of his
direction this
co-workers
time.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not getting
Feeling a
fired.
wave
Talk
of
less.
disbelief,
Do
Stanley
unbelievably
decided to
amazing
go
work
up
all
to
the
his
time,
boss's
every day.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The last time I went up, this time
Coming
we
to
go
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
No,
Were they
they're
simply
different.
repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the
No.
ground.
No.
He imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun.
I'm still in
and
the
Stanley
office.
marveled that he had still not woken
And I'm
up.
not flying anymore.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people
Should I
in their
just
dreams,
keep walking
the
through
truth
these
was that, of
doors?
course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's
gonna
asleep,
trick
he
it.
doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Ooh.
Stanley
Shoot.
is as awake
Ooh.
right now as he's ever
Ooh.
been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
I'm freaking out, man.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently.
No,
and
don't
he
do that.
invited
No,
himself to
no,
wake
no.
up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
I don't want that.
I want my apartment
No.
and my wife
Yes.
and my job.
Mm-hmm.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
No.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am the machine.
I'm back.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Fuck. I hope I don't sound like that. I hope that's just my narrator
This
voice.
is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was
I
comforting
am
to think this,
Iron
and in
Man.
a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
Don't do it.
She had no
It's
time
a
for
trap.
this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring
Please
down at the body.
call somebody.
And then she turned and ran.
No.